Welcome to the Underground.
Turn me up, bitch!
My Little Underground with Peter A.
It's My Little Underground. I'm Peter A. Make sure you're subscribed anywhere you get podcasts, and be sure to follow me on socials at MLU Pod. You can also support the show for as little as $1 a month. Link in the description and over at peteraradio.com. This week, we're going to be talking about some more great albums that I'm looking forward to in 2021. And we're going to start off with some of my favorite Canadians, Death from Above, 1979. And over the past few months or so, they've been putting up some cryptic posts on social media. And recently, they got less cryptic because they finally announced a brand new album for March is for Lovers. It's coming to us March the 26th. And the lead single 1+1, to me, listening to it, it's definitely made for a live crowd. But also, like typical Death from Above fashion, the song is very romantic. And I just picture this song is for two people who haven't expressed their love for each other yet. And if you listen to Death from Above, their songs all have a hint of romance in them. Jane Weaver, she recently announced her 12th solo album, Flock, and that's coming to us March the 5th. And according to Jane, well, also, just listening to the teaser singles, this is very pop-centric. This will be a very pop-centric album, and Jane said this is an album that she's always wanted to make. And this is definitely a far cry from her early Britpop days with Kill Laura. But, I shouldn't say that because some of the teaser tracks to Flock have a bit, just a sprinkle, a little small sliver of some of her Britpop energy. And the teaser tracks, Heart Low and Revolution of Supervisions, gorgeous tunes, unbelievably catchy, beautiful vocal arrangements that are exciting and full of life. Speaking of full of life, same goes for Tune Yards. They got a new album, Sketchy, coming to us March 26th. The first single, super catchy, it's called Hold Yourself. And this song, according to the band, is about being betrayed by their parents' generation and at the same time, betraying the future. The idea of betraying the future is great because if we don't wear masks, if we gather in large groups, if we don't distance, we are definitely betraying the future generations. We are. So I love how Tune Yards is honing in on this idea. I'm not sure if whatever I just said is what Tune Yards was thinking, but that's what I'm getting from that idea of betraying the future. Chai announced their third album, Wink, and it's coming to us May the 21st. And the idea behind this album, the whole idea of somebody winking, according to the band, is someone who has a pure heart, lives in flexibility, and does what they want. And on this album, they're winking at us and hope we're living as freely as them. Love that. And the lead single, Action, is a response to the wave of Black Lives Matter protests around the country and how it was moving for the band. And I just love to see non-black people of color using their platform, their sub-pop platform, to raise awareness to what's going on in the world, because even if you're not black, injustice towards black people should offend you. It should make you uncomfortable. And I really like to see, on social media and in the news that there's a lot more non-black people protesting and speaking out against racial disparity. Love it. Keep that going. And I'm looking forward to this brand new Chai album. Lunarette. And this is a group that's rising out of the ashes of Gingerlies. And this time around, they have reformed with more of a new wave, electronic, pop focused on their tunes. Like Gingerlies was very indie pop, indie rockish, but and Gingerlies had catchy, pretty songs, but I think Lunarette just kind of focus on the pop, almost new wave element of their songwriting. And they announced a brand new EP, Claire de Lunarette, out March 26th. And they put out 2 teaser tracks so far, Ocean Street and Lucky One. And specifically Lucky One definitely has some new wave isms. That's probably my favorite of the songs they released so far, but I'm looking forward to this project definitely. Gary, Indiana, a trio out of Manchester. They inked with Fire Talk Records, a label based out here in New York, and they put out their latest single, Alien 3. This is a very unique tune, in my view. It has a very experimental blend of electronic and industrial stylings, and the group said they were inspired by video game glitches. Now, if you hear this tune, I think that is the perfect way to describe Alien 3 from Gary, Indiana. And I have to say, the first time I heard it, I thought it was cool, but it didn't stick with me. And I wanted to give it another chance because it just sounded so different from everything else that was that was coming out around the time that song came out. And I think I owed it to them to listen to it again. And I'm glad I did, because now I absolutely love the song. And I am so excited to see what else they have planned for 2021, because they didn't really announce an album or an EP or anything like that. But I'm patiently waiting for some new Gary, Indiana stuff. Yeah, it's good to see some artists coming out with some very strange sounds. I love it. And they're not just kind of blending in with all the noise out there. My good friend Astronauto, former guest on My Little Underground many times. According to him, Astronauto 4 is officially in the works, and if you follow him on Instagram, you can see that for yourself. He took a small hiatus from recording this because he was kind of going through what a lot of DIY musicians that I know are going through. Just what does it all mean? Why should they do it? And they're kind of comparing themselves to other acts that are less talented but are getting more attention, and just dealing with shady promoters and all that stuff. But I had a conversation with him. I sent him some songs that kind of relate to the whole idea of being an independent artist and the struggle of that, and how you always have to work extra hard to make sure people are listening to your music. But I think it's worthwhile because it's easy just to do what everybody else is doing. It's so easy. But if you follow a certain wave, after a while that wave is over. And with that, you're going to be over. So, and an artist like Astronauto, I don't know, people who listen to this show know who Astronauto is by now, hopefully. And his music is so against the grain. And he's from Long Island, and not all, but some Long Island acts, especially in the DIY scene, are very emo influenced. They all pull from the same influences. And I gotta say, going to house show after house show, you see the same bands that sound exactly the same, and you know exactly who they listen to. And no disrespect to the emo sound, but I want to hear some other artists from Long Island that don't sound like a certain indie band, or not indie band, a certain emo band. I'm not with it, and I like to see artists like Astronauto that has a different set of influences, but he's approaching it in a very unique way. And Astronauto may not be for everybody, but when you hear his music, you're going to appreciate him taking chances with a lot of sounds. Like, he's not going for indie darling status, and I'm so glad that he's back to working on Astronauto 4. And also, I should say that he's been recording with Biaspi and James Messina, and they're all part of Medicine Fish, and I've explained that many times before. Biaspi was on the show a few times. I'm looking forward to see what those three are going to do with the new Astronauto project. Chicago's own Ganser have announced that their third album is officially in the works, confirmed by Alicia Gaines here on My Little Underground. And if you follow the band on Twitter, they've explained it there too. And yeah, on Twitter they've been sharing, some of some working titles of songs from the third album, and just their process of recording it. And they haven't announced any release date or anything like that, or single or anything like that. But just know that the album's in the works, and I'm very excited to hear what album 3 sounds from my Chicago friends. Ganser. Lice, which is the tag team of A$AP Rock and Homeboy Sandman. And over the last decade or so, for the latter half of the 2010s, they've been putting together a series of EPs. Lice, Lice 2, and Triple Fat Lice. And they recently came together to tribute MF Doom with the Bandcamp exclusive single, Ask Anybody. And they're rapping over Doom's instrumental Datura Stramonium. And I think this is one of the best hip-hop tribute singles ever. And there's a lot of famous tribute singles out there. And I can't say that I'm a fan of them because the intention is there, but the song is not. And I think this time around with Lice, Homeboy Sandman, and A$AP Rock, they have such great chemistry together. They came together and made a really, yes, it's sad. You're listening to it, they're sharing, they're doing a little like, almost a biography of MF Doom. How he started with KMD and how he evolved into the MF Doom persona. And the song is rocking too. The song itself is great. The intention is great, and the actual song is great. So I am very excited. I hope that this is not just a one-off, and I hope they come together for another Lice EP or even a Lice album. I need that. TK Maizda, Zimbabwean Australian rapper-singer, known for very bombastic songs with a melodic twist. And she just dropped a brand new song, Kim, featuring young baby Tate. And I love this song. Explosive 808 drums with a very, very catchy refrain. Bitch, I'm Kim. Once you hear this song once or twice, that will be stuck in your head for weeks to come. And this tune is a tribute to Kim Possible, who was a very positive role model to TK when she was growing up. And I hope this is part of a possible follow-up to last year's Last Year Was Weird Volume 2. And it seems that 2021 is going to be a very interesting year for music. There's a lot of albums that I'm looking forward to. And I'm sure that there's going to be, I know, this happens every year, there's going to be a lot more to come because no one's touring now. So hopefully, if they're in the mindset to do so, artists will, not sit on releases for so long. Because, I don't think that just because we're all locked down that you have to be creative and somehow. But I'm saying is, to any artists out there, if you have an album you're sitting on and you're waiting to tour, no, I think it's a bad move. Put it out there if it's ready, please, so I can do more shows like this. All right? I'm Peter A. Thanks for listening to My Little Underground. Subscribe anywhere you get podcasts and follow me on socials at MLU Pod. And keep listening to music, I guess. All right? Later days.